Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
It's time to review Jurassic World Rebirth.
Today we'll do a quick movie review using these 4 categories. Entertainment value. Rewatchability.
Sometimes I will just stand here and watch television for hours.
Execution.
The excellence of execution.
And originality.
That's original.
This is Slabbed Cinema.
Entertainment value.
I'm going to give it just a little bit of love because there were elements of the story that I liked. There were 2 separate stories. We had the family story and the mission story. I actually liked the family story. It was something kind of interesting and different. There also were 3 scenes that I can remember where they did have really good tension building throughout them. You had the cliff scene, you had the boat scene, and you had the raft scene. Those scenes, I think they did really well with how the close calls and the things dangling on the edge and the rope giving just a little bit and the little things that kind of added tension. So I'm going to give it a decent score because of that. The pacing did get a little slow. And like I said, one of the storylines I didn't care for at all. So I'm going to give it a 5.
Ooh, I'm with you on that. First off and foremost, not all movies are meant to be watched at midnight.
Did you feed them after midnight?
Well, I gave them some chicken.
That's just a disclaimer for Hollywood blockbusters these days. Those days have come and gone. Jurassic World Rebirth, from an entertainment value perspective, I knew what I was getting into. Turned my brain off, not expecting a ton of stuff, not expecting to really care about any of the main characters. And that was true. Like ScarlettJohansson and all of them are just throwaway. They got their paycheck. They showed up. But if you're there just for the dinosaurs and you know that they're not going to do anything too crazy and no one's going to get like, there's not going to be a big twist surprise where Black Widow gets eaten in the first scene, I would go with a 5 too. Like, it is exactly what I expected. And sadly, that's just where we are.
This is, if you ever watched Fallen Kingdom or Dominion and thought to yourself, I wonder what this would be like without any nostalgic fun or member berries or the charm and charisma of Chris Pratt. If you wanted to know what a plot that ridiculous and stupid without somebody as charming as Chris Pratt or Jeff Goldblum is like, now you know. I haven't wanted to leave a theater so bad in at least 20 years. I'm going to give this a 2. This was an insult to intelligence. This made the Locust storyline seem plausible. Rewatchability.
I don't ever see myself looking to watch this movie again, but I can see myself accidentally stumbling on this one on Peacock in a year or so and being like, oh, there's nothing else on. Let's just click on it. Maybe when it's completely and totally out of my brain, what it was like when I was in the theater. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 because I can see myself stumbling in and actually being intrigued a little bit down the line. But I'm never going to go look for this movie again. I'm not just dying for it to come out on digital, and I'm not wanting to have watch parties for it in the backyard or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.
I'm going to 1 because I just don't think I'll ever watch this again unless it just like happens. Like, surely I'll watch it once more because like it's just on at some point somewhere and I just like have to look at it, but I will never seek it out. And that's not even just saying I hated it, but it's just one of those that rewatchability wise, I'll go watch Independence Day or something instead. You know, I'm not going to, yeah.
I'm going to go 0 unless I am trapped in a room and they're using it as a torture device.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
I will never sit through this again. Just so, you know, I know this is spoiler free, but the premise is we have to go get blood from 3 dinosaurs, and we have to get one from land, sea, and air because, you know, G.I. Joe. It's everywhere G.I. Joe goes, and where G.I. Joe goes, ScarlettJohansson can go. And we need to get the biggest ones because they lived up to 100 years, and that's going to cure heart disease. But do you know what else lives up to 100 years or more? Humans. Humans live up to 100 years. And right here on the planet, we have a thing called bowhead whales. I looked that up, and they're mammals, and they live over 200 years, and they get 60 meters long, I think it is. Yeah, no, 60 feet and 220,000 pounds. That's how big a bowhead whale is, and they're mammals. So if you need a giant, long-lived animal blood to cure heart disease, get on that, because they're out there, guys. Why are we not curing heart disease? This is a 0.
Execution.
Yeah, the execution in the film was rough. This is not a dinosaur franchise anymore. It's a full-on monster franchise. And I think that's kind of where I'm kind of slipping. The world that they had set up in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, which was a terrible direction for the franchise, has now taken over. It's far beyond anything Michael Crichton would have wanted for the franchise. And then just a lot of the angles in this, I think, the self-awareness of Universal is very, very low. To have this anti-corporate angle where these life-saving resources should be available for everybody for free, when in reality at their theme park they charge like $17 for a bottle of water. So I think that because of a lot of these things, the execution on the film, it was just not well thought out, was not well done. The CGI was a little too heavy, and they didn't do anything to really mask it like Spielberg did when he was doing his masterful stuff. So the execution, I'm going to go all the way down to 1.
Yeah, I'm going full on, and I haven't done this for 1 yet, I don't think, other than maybe like Dominion or Fallen Kingdom. Full on 0. I think if you're Universal and you look at the script you have and you want to make a dinosaur movie, you get rid of all the big name actors and actresses. You don't pay them that money. You put in nobodies, and you at least make it enticing with stakes. Like you increase some like tension there where it's like, oh, who's going to make it? Like what's going to happen? But instead you've got this movie. And like you said, like Tim just said, you have this message in there that is so bizarre compared to the billion-dollar corporation you are and what you're trying to achieve. It just doesn't work in the modern times or whatever, but for whatever they were trying to do, it's a monster movie now, but it's not a well-done monster movie. Hard 0.
Okay, we've established that the story is bad. The acting is bad. Scarlett Johansson is really phoning it in real hard here.
Very hard.
The CGI, what is it, the Titanosaur? I know you've probably seen trailers and you saw the T-Rex swimming. You're like, what are you talking about? The CGI is good. All the good CGI is in the trailers. The Titanosaurs, which are like the biggest, that is the worst CGI in the series. If we're talking about a series that started in the 90s. I mean, this is straight up staring at a cartoon. It was awful. So we've got acting bad, CGI bad, story bad. The score was even bad. I know John Williams is retired, but this score, I feel like they weren't watching the movie sometimes. They threw some John Williams themes in a blender, and they hit the thematic Jurassic World thing at the weirdest moments in this film. Scarlett Johansson and Che, paleontologist, the communist paleontologist, were having a talk on the boat, and the Jurassic theme rises in the background while he's talking about, I don't know, never being shot at. I'm like, that's the part? I mean, we didn't just open the doors on Jurassic World. He's having a little exposition talk, but okay. So no, this is a 0. This is a hard 0 for me.
Originality.
I can't really go anywhere with originality. I can't even do a 1. I am going to go ahead and give it a 0. The reason that I think it doesn't warrant even a 1 is because, like I said, we've kind of got beyond what this universe should be. This universe should not be just a monster franchise. This is a dinosaur franchise. And I believe that Universal, like a lot of different franchises right now, just kind of got in their own way too much. They kind of fell in love with releasing the movie instead of doing the franchise justice. And I think that was one of the things that suffered here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 0 on originality.
I think if I was a movie theater owner right now, I would sit here, watch this movie and be like, yeah, movie theaters are done. They're cooked. Let's get every dollar we can out of this. Streaming has won. The party is over. This is a streaming movie. This is not a movie theater movie. This is not
Absolutely.
worth the money, not worth going 100% zero. Like, this is in 2025, spending this much money on a movie and getting this is embarrassing.
Yeah. Let me tell you how original this movie is. I'm at a midnight showing on the opening day, right? And a scene comes on that is so familiar that I'm swearing I have seen this movie before. And I'm like, I'm having a deja vu moment. They're coming up to a gas station on this deserted island where the power comes on and it flickers and music starts playing. And I'm like, I've seen this movie. Have I seen this movie? How did, and it took me forever to figure out. I'm sitting there in a movie. I stopped paying attention to this movie because I didn't care. And then I realized it was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It was The Wait instead of Stand By Me. But yeah, it was definitely the same scene. So that's how, and then we're going to go full monsters, but of course the monsters have to be xenomorphs. They can't be original either, and they have to be vertebrates from Earth with six limbs because, vertebrates have 6 limbs. We all know that, right, guys? It's a 0. That's a hard, when you're watching a movie at midnight on the opening night, and you're like, I've seen this before. Oh, and how many times do we have to lure the dinosaur with a flare? How many movies do we have to do that in? We crunched the numbers, and Jurassic World Rebirth came in at a 1.4. Slabbed.
Nerd champs,